Did Jesus predict Muhammad? The question of whether Jesus prophesied about Muhammad is a significant point of dialogue between Christianity and Islam. Each faith interprets its scriptures in ways that either affirm or deny this connection, resulting in contrasting theological views. Let's explore the Islamic and Christian perspectives and how each faith interprets key passages related to this issue. Islamic perspective. In Islam, Jesus, referred to as Isa, is not only a revered prophet but also seen as a precursor who foretold the coming of Muhammad. This belief is rooted in the Quranic verse from Surah As-Saf, 61-6, which quotes Jesus. Muslims understand Ahmad as another name for Muhammad, derived from the same Arabic root, which denotes praise. This verse forms the basis of the Islamic belief that Jesus spoke of a future prophet, Muhammad, who would complete God's revelation to humanity. Muslim scholars also interpret several passages in the Gospel of John as veiled references to Muhammad. Specifically, Jesus' promises about the coming of a comforter, or paraclete, Greek, parakletos, are seen as prophecies about a future messenger. In John chapter 16 verse 7-8, Jesus describes the comforter as someone who will come after him, guide people into truth, and glorify Jesus. Muslims argue that this figure cannot be the Holy Spirit, as traditionally understood by Christians, for several reasons. The Comforter is referred to with 8 masculine pronouns, he, in the text, suggesting a human rather than a spiritual entity. In contrast, the Holy Spirit in Christian theology is often referred to in gender-neutral or symbolic terms. John chapter 16 verse 13-15 states that the Comforter will not speak on his own authority but will convey what he hears. This aligns with Muhammad's role, as Muslims believe that he delivered the Quran based on revelations from God through the angel Gabriel, without speaking on his own. Furthermore, Muslims point to the Song of Solomon chapter 5 verse 16, where the Hebrew word, Muhammadim, appears. In the original Hebrew, this word is translated as, altogether lovely, but Muslims see a linguistic connection to the name, Muhammad. They argue that this may be an indirect reference to the Prophet Muhammad. Christian perspective. Christians, however, do not accept the interpretation that Jesus spoke of Muhammad. They point to the context of the New Testament and traditional Christian teachings to support their position. In John chapter 14 verse 26, Jesus explicitly identifies the Paraclete as the Holy Spirit, saying, "But the Advocate, the Holy Spirit, whom the Father will send in my name, will teach you all things and will remind you of everything I have said to you." Christians believe that the role of the Comforter or Paraclete is to provide spiritual guidance, comfort, and wisdom to believers after Jesus' ascension. The Holy Spirit's presence. Christians note that the Holy Spirit was already present during Jesus' ministry. For instance, the Spirit-filled Elizabeth, Luke chapter 1 verse 41, and Zechariah, Luke chapter 1 verse 67, and was active on the day of Pentecost. This continuous presence of the Holy Spirit makes it unlikely, in the Christian view, that Jesus' promise of the Comforter referred to a future prophet. Moreover, the New Testament was written in the 1st century CE, while Muhammad was born in the 6th century CE. Christians see no historical or textual basis for identifying the Comforter or other prophecies as referring to Muhammad. Additionally, the use of Muhammadim in Song of Solomon is seen as a descriptive term, meaning desirable or lovely, rather than a proper name, given the poetic nature of the text. Furthermore, in John chapter 16 verse 14, the Comforter is described as one who will glorify Jesus. Christians believe this aligns with the Holy Spirit's work, which focuses on pointing people towards Jesus' divinity and mission. From a Christian perspective, Muhammad's teachings, while acknowledging Jesus as a prophet, do not uphold key Christian beliefs about Jesus' divine nature, crucifixion, and resurrection. Comparative analysis. The contrasting interpretations between Islam and Christianity center around the figure of the Comforter, or Paraclete, in the Gospel of John. Muslims believe the Comforter fits the description of a future prophet, specifically Muhammad, based on linguistic clues and the Comforter's role as a guide and conveyor of divine messages. They also cite the masculine pronouns used and the fact that the Holy Spirit, according to the Bible, was already active during Jesus' ministry. In contrast, Christians understand the Comforter as the Holy Spirit, who was sent to guide and empower believers after Jesus' ascension. Additionally, Christians view the references in the Song of Solomon as unrelated to prophecy, given the book's poetic and allegorical nature. Conclusion. In summary, whether Jesus prophesied about Muhammad depends on the religious framework through which one interprets the texts. From an Islamic perspective, Quranic revelations and certain biblical passages suggest that Jesus foretold Muhammad's arrival. In contrast, Christians interpret the same passages as referring to the Holy Spirit, not a future prophet, and find no explicit mention of Muhammad in the New Testament. These differing interpretations reflect the theological foundations and scriptural readings unique to each faith, highlighting the broader distinctions between Islam and Christianity on the continuity of divine messages.